Hello and welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley, and today and tomorrow at this particular time slot here at verbling.com, we are going to be learning punctuation rules. Today we're going to start out with the basics, periods, exclamation points, question marks, commas, and the like. And tomorrow we're going to continue with looking at the more complicated things, semicolons, parentheses, brackets, etc. Okay, so pretty straightforward lesson. We're going to start out by talking about the period. Okay. Now, I have to do a little test here because things look a little different. Okay. Okay. It would be great if somebody from Verbling, some students, could join me so I can actually check to see if I'm really here in Verbling, because I'm not quite sure. They've redesigned the class. In any case, I'd like to get started. So come on in and join me. Plenty of room. Let's get started talking about punctuation. Some do's and don'ts. Hopefully you will pick up some very useful knowledge. Please do download the document below the class description, as this will be a very useful reference for you. Okay, here we go. Great. Hi, Christian. Hello, hello.
Hi, teacher.
Hi. Welcome to the class. How are you today?
Thank you. Great.
Terrific. Thanks for joining me. Also, hello, Anna Paula.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Great. Okay, and I would also like to welcome Seth. Hello, Seth. Hello, Seth. Welcome.
Hi, Oakley. Good night.
Hi. Good morning.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. No difference. Whatever. We can learn how to do punctuation in any time of day or night. Welcome to the class. We have another Anna. Anna, hello, Anna Christina.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. How are you today?
Excellent, thank you.
Excellent. Okay. Welcome to the class. And hello, Rodrigo. Hi, Rodrigo. How are you? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I can't hear your microphone yet, Rodrigo. I'm not sure. Hopefully, if you can fix that up, that would be great. Welcome, Julio. Hey, Julio. How's it going?
Hello. Hello, Oakley. I can see that you got yourself trimmed.
Oh, yeah. It's my summer do. Yeah, that's right. It's freaking hot here, dude. So I have cut all my hairs off. And no, that's not good English. Hair is an uncountable noun. And I should say I cut all my hair off. Yeah. In any case, welcome to the class. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, Na. Na Young. Hi, Na. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Nice to have you here. And Diego is with us. Hi, Diego.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the class. Okay, guys. Here's the deal. We're going to talk punctuation rules. And so we're talking about rules. So if you guys have any questions, I urge you to not be shy. Don't be shy about asking me any questions. I'm sure you're going to have questions and they will come up. Just shout them on out. Don't wait for me to call on you or anything. Just out with it. Because I'm going to plow through here because we're going to cover this today and tomorrow. And frankly, I almost never get through this because there's a lot of material here. So I'm going to get started after I say hello to Keiko. Hello, Keiko. Welcome, Keiko. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
hey, teacher.
Hey.
Nice to see you again.
Well, nice to see you as well. Yeah, I was enjoying a lovely vacation, so I'm back. In any case,
Welcome.
well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get started. Where did he go? Christian. I'm going to start you. We're going to start with the period. Christian, what do we use a period for?
A period.
Oh,
Yes?
A period is used at the end of the sentences.
Well, that's the answer I thought you would give me, and yes, a period is used at the end of the sentence. That is correct. Where else do we use a period, Anna? Anna Paula?
Yeah.
Hi. Where else do we use a period? At the end of a sentence, of course. Christian's absolutely correct. Where else?
I use the periods in the beginning of the sentence.
Yeah, where else? Is there anywhere else?
In the end, in the middle of the sentence.
Well, no, at the end of a sentence. Okay. Anna Paula, I don't know your last name, but let's say I'm going to give you initials. I would write A, capital A, period.
Yeah.
Capital P, period. And then I'm just going to give you a random name because I don't know, and that's okay. You don't have to tell me. I'm just going to call you AP Rodriguez. There you go. Well, if I give your initials, I would use a period there as well. Right? Okay. Seth, are you here still? Where'd you go? So many people. Seth.
Yes.
Is there another situation where we would use a period?
Use a period after abbreviation.
After an abbreviation.
After an abbreviation, okay.
Oh, you are good. Okay, you're absolutely correct. All right, now I'm going to do a screen share with you because you guys are too good for me. Yeah, all right. Our basic period. Use a period at the end of a sentence. As Christian said, absolutely. After initials, okay. After an abbreviation. All right. For example, Mrs., Doctor, things of that nature. We welcome Mrs. Simmons to our team. Great. Here's another use. We use a period as a decimal point. Well, this is kind of weird and ridiculous because we don't call it a period when we use it with numbers. I don't know. It's not really a period. It seems like the same thing, but this is okay. Some second language speakers say this differently. Well, let me, as an example, Anna Christina.
Yeah.
Hi. Can you read this example here that I've highlighted? Could you read that sentence?
The workers receive a 2.1% raise.
Yeah. Okay. 2.1% raise is how we speak this in English. Okay? A 2.1% raise. So we don't say 2 period 1, we don't say 2.1, we say 2.1% raise. Okay. All right. We also use a period to separate dollars and cents when we're writing about money. Rodrigo, is your microphone working? Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can. Hi, Rodrigo. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to hear your voice.
Okay,
All right.
the book,
Now, how are you going to say this in English? Yeah, go ahead.
the book cost 4.95 cents.
That's good. The book costs $4.95. Of course, if you go to America, most people are going to say the book costs $4.95. Because you're going to know, Rodrigo, that this crazy book does not cost $495. That's who's going to pay $495 for a book, right? So it would be understood that it's $4.95. You are perfectly correct in how you spoke that, actually. But just so you know, English speakers would commonly just say it's $4.95. We wouldn't even say dollars if you're in America, because it would be assumed that you're paying in dollars. Book costs $4.95 is the proper way to say it, exactly as Rodrigo said it, actually. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, use a period after each number in a list printed vertically. Okay, if you're using Microsoft Word and you click that little number thing at the top, it's going to look, well, let me do it like that. 1, apples. 2, oranges. Okay. Obviously, we're going to use a period at that point. Now, sometimes, okay, somehow missing off my list here, you will see, like maybe on your smartphone or your tablet or whatever, you may also see dates. All right, what is today? Where are we? 4. Okay, this is American style now. 4. It's April. What is today? It's the 7th where I am. I know where you guys are. It might be different. Like that. Okay. For dates. So sometimes, like cell phones and such, sometimes do that. I could also just as easily write that with slashes. Of course, this is American style with the month first, then the day. Americans do it crazy backwards. But okay, there's another place where you might see periods. All right. Well, that's it. That's pretty much it for periods. Okay, on to exclamation points. Julio, what's an exclamation point for?
Exclamation point. It's to express feeling like
Yeah.
that.
What feelings? Love?
Feeling of
You.
of something like you want to be intense in your expression about something.
Yeah. Okay, strong
Surprise,
emotion.
maybe. Strong, yeah.
Surprise.
Strong
Yeah,
emotion.
yeah. Strong emotion.
Caring.
Could be anger, surprise,
Caring.
Exciting,
scared, yeah, like
exciting.
excitedness, yeah, scared. Ah! Like that. Okay, could be.
Yes.
Sure. Now, you don't know what I mean by ah. Do I mean ah? Or do I mean ah? Either way. Now, look, this is okay, guys. Wow. I never thought Mom would let us go to the concert. But I have to tell you, after interjections, thank you, Keiko. That's right. Like, wow, that's an interjection. Absolutely. Now, this is okay, but I have to tell you guys, this is pretty much unacceptable. Doing double, triple, yes, I know you see this. Of course, you text this, you see this in instant messages, and some people comments on an article or whatever. They go crazy with the uh, exclamation points, but really in English, that's not okay. All right, so if you're writing in any kind of professional capacity, business, or academic, please don't do this. Yeah, trust me, American professors will totally kick your butt for that. Not okay. It's the same as doing this. I urge you not to do this if you're commenting on how stupid President Obama is or whatever on an article. Please don't do this. Don't do this. Because this is shouting. This is the same as me screaming at you. If you're writing and you write all capital letters, this is like a madman screaming. Okay, this is not really socially acceptable. So try to avoid that. Okay, question mark. Well, this is not too difficult. Nah. Parsimoniously. All right. Yeah, like you're preaching. Very good, Keiko. Big word. Nah, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, there. I used a question mark verbally. Nah, why would I use a question mark? I did it again.
I'm sorry.
Why do you use question marks?
To ask something.
Yeah, of course. The end of the question. All right. Well, that's fairly simple. Stephen, go with you. Okay.
17.
Now, there's another purpose. To ask something. Yeah, okay. Did Stephen go with you? Also, even when it's a statement, you may write a question mark, even though it's a declarative statement. You're declaring something. You're stating something you believe to be true, but you're surprised by it, or you don't believe the statement. For example, here. Now, I gave you way too easy a question, so this one's more difficult. How would you speak this?
She's our new teacher?
Ah, very nice now. Applause, applause. Nice. Rising intonation. Now that's good. Very, very good. Now, you can speak a declarative statement, but it's still going to have the final rising intonation at the end to show your disbelief. And actually, Na did something else quite interesting there. Really good job. She also started high. She's our new teacher. This is a common intonation pattern in English to show shock or surprise or disbelief. She's our new teacher? No way. She's got purple hair and she's 10 feet tall. Okay, here is another way that we can use question marks. All right, especially in academic writing, or as a matter of fact, business writing, if you can get away with this. With parentheses, to indicate you're not sure of spelling, or if you have the right word. Okay, so here's an example here. I have to visit an orthopedic doctor next week. Now, maybe I'm not sure about the spelling, and the spelling is wrong. Or maybe I'm not sure of what kind of doctor. I don't know about you guys, but I get very confused about which kind of doctors work on which body part. So it could be used in that way. Within the parentheses, those are the lines on either side. Those are called parentheses. We'll talk more about that later, but this is also an acceptable use of question marks to show you're uncertain of meaning or spelling. Okay, on to commas. Diego, you still here?
Okay.
Yeah, you are. Hi, Diego.
Okay.
Okay, why do we use a comma?
Why use the comma?
Yeah, what do we use a comma for?
Um, in this case, the comma use because you do about means orthopedic.
Well, there's no comma here. No, I'm asking you, when do we use a comma? Of course, it can be a musical refrain. Comma, 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 whoa, 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 hey, hey, hey. But we don't want to go there, and I'm sorry you had to hear that, Diego. Okay, what are some uses of the comma? Comma, of course,
Okay.
is this thing here.
A
What do we use
reading.
that guy for? That's a comma. Well, I'll give you one. Here we go. Well, here you go. Diego, stay with me. I'm going to have you do something in just a second after I explain this. You use a comma after each item in a series, at least 3 items. If I have 2 items, I can use and. If it's a choice, I can use or. Would you like chicken or fish? I would like chicken and fish. Okay, but if I have 3 items, then I need to use a comma. Okay, now here is a special rule note. The rules have changed since I was younger. It has become acceptable to omit the comma before the conjunction. In other words, before the and, the final and in here, it's okay to not use the comma now. Now, okay, this, when I was younger, this was a grammar rule. You need to always put the comma. Now, it is acceptable and it is okay. But on the other hand, it is also acceptable and okay to include the comma before and that would never be wrong. Okay, the important thing is to be consistent as you do it. Now, Diego?
Okay.
Much like I had Na do, I would like you to go ahead and read this sentence because I want to make a remark about the intonation.
I still need to take a test. Write a essay and check out and book beforehand. Not correct. Comma.
No, it's okay. All the commas are okay here. It is both this last comma here. What I was saying before, it's okay to have it or not have it. Well, I don't know if you
can. No.
It's okay. You can have it or not have it. It is your choice. But you need to remain consistent. Diego, though, there's something I need to tell you about your intonation. It doesn't matter if you're just listing things. It doesn't matter if you're listing nouns or numbers or names or adjectives. It doesn't really matter. There's a certain intonation pattern you need to use. I dislike spinach, broccoli, and cauliflower. You need to go up, go down. Doesn't matter if you're listing 27 things. Go up, 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 go
Okay.
down.
And cauliflower.
All right. So even if you're listing, here we have clauses, entire clauses with a verb and an object, verb and an object. So
Okay.
like this. I still
Okay.
need to take a test, write an essay, and check out a book. So you need to have a rising intonation at the end because you're listing clauses. Okay?
Okay.
Doesn't matter what it is. He's intelligent, handsome, and somewhat abnormal. Okay. Go up, up, down. All right. Listing things. One use of a comma. Keiko, what's another use of a comma? Keiko?
Can you repeat, teacher? I didn't hear.
What other way do we use a comma? There's a whole bunch. Another use.
In a number to separate million from thousand from unities, million from thousand, billion from million, etc.
Yeah, okay, very good. That is correct. Again, with the numbers like that, a million. Okay, right. To separate hundreds from thousands, from millions, from billions, from trillions, from whatever's next. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Very, very good. Excellent. Christian. Yeah, you're here. Christian, do you know another use for a comma?
Yes, I can use the comma after, for example, the day and years. It's like a date. If I want to write like if February 20 come,
Aha.
yeah,
Okay. You mean like this? February
20.
Okay. Would it be like this? Wait a minute.
Night 20 1960 1995.
No, okay. February 20, 1995. Okay. Yeah, that's again with the American style writing of dates with the month first.
Teacher,
All right. Yes.
teacher, I have a question.
Sure.
Could you explain us how or when we have to use February 20 or 20th February?
Good question.
Very, very complicated.
No, it's not complicated. It's actually silly, is what it is.
Okay.
Honestly, it's just silly Americans. I'm an American. Trust me. I know. We're all silly.
I this too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, it's a very good question. It's crazy. Basically, it's like this. Americans put the month first, which is not very logical if you really think about it. It's really not very logical. But everywhere else on Earth, everyone else does the more logical date, month, year. So if you're communicating with somebody you know is an American, then you might want to use month first. But everybody else on Earth is a lot more logical. So day first is fine. Okay, it's only the Americans you've got to worry about. And you know what? Don't worry about them.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Here's some more uses. That was a good question. Thank you. And anybody else, any questions, please shout them right out. Okay, another use for commas after similar to dates, street address and city in an address. Now this is also weird, and again, you're dealing with the Americans again here. Do not use a comma after the state. So this is what an address would look like here. Your address is 123 Apple Street, comma, that's the street address. Midtown, that's the city, comma. Kansas, that's the state, and then the zip code. You do not put a comma after the state. Why? I don't know. Even if you include the country. All right. Okay, after the day and year and a date. Okay, we just did that. So, also answering your question, Anna, actually adding to it. Here we can see that we wrote it the way that Christian said to write it. He was absolutely correct, like that. But when we write it with the day first, like everywhere else on Earth except America, we don't need a comma. So that's another important point there. Okay. All right.
But the both are correct?
But both are correct. Yes. Neither one is wrong. That's you're right. Okay, and as Keiko said earlier, we obviously use the comma to clarify large numbers, every 3 digits, hundreds, thousands, etc. Okay, 1998.
Oakley, I have a question.
Yeah. Shoot.
Oakley?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
It's about the last example. Both of them, 20 February and the other, can I use speak and writing? When I talk to somebody, can I use 20 February 1990? Or I just use February 20, 1990?
Okay. Most Americans, again, would follow the way you write it. I can't help myself. I'm an American, so I would say February 20th, 1990. If you say the date first, change it slightly. The 20th of February, 1990.
Okay, thank you.
The 20th of February. Yes,
Teacher.
Go ahead.
But when I have to use the ordinal number, like 20, 20th, when I have to use it.
Okay. So let's see. Let me try to write it out for you. Connie's birthday is, yeah, you would speak it here, the 20th, like this. The 20th of February. Like that.
Okay, the difference is the article and preposition.
And to tell you the truth, you really should have on. Whenever you use a day, whenever you're saying a specific day, you use on.
Okay. Right.
Right. Whereas this first one here, Connie's birthday is February 20th. I don't need any articles or prepositions.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome. Good questions, by the way. Okay. And of course, the most common is one that no one ever said. Use a comma to set off an interruption in the main thought of a sentence. Now, okay, this is an important one. Okay, because we have an interrupted idea, we use this with an interrupting subordinator or interrupting adverb or a relative clause. The man whose car I bought is 7 feet tall, for example. All right, so when we have added information or an interrupted idea, interruption in the main thought, in other words, I can take this out. Here, to put it more bluntly, I can just get rid of this. Rosa will bring her folding chairs. All right, so in a sentence where you're you're sticking in extra information, if you can remove that information and the sentence still makes sense, then it should be bracketed with commas, like this. Okay? Is that clear? I hope. Now here, okay, here's another. Here's another more complex comma rule. You need to use a comma to separate two or more adjectives that equally modify the same noun. Okay. Now, what that means is, this is complicated, but adjectives have a certain order. You need to use a demonstrative first. That is an article or a pronoun or a demonstrative. First, a big black hairy dog. A big black hairy dog. Okay, well, there's a certain order. Size goes before color. Okay, so condition, hairy, comes after color. So this usually comes up when you're using two adjectives which are opinions. Like, opinion adjectives are like beautiful, ugly, intelligent. In my opinion, he is ugly, she is beautiful, he is intelligent. That's my opinion. This is usually where you're going to find this little problem. You want to use two adjectives which are opinion adjectives. Okay, now here's some good advice. If you aren't sure whether to use a comma to separate the adjectives or not, say the sentence with the word "and" in place of the comma. If it makes sense, then use the comma. For example, here. What I mean by that, to test it, say it out loud. Read it out loud to yourself. Jill was having problems with the unruly and disruptive children. It makes sense. It sounds right. And again, as I was saying, as I was noting, unruly, that's my opinion. They're unruly. Disruptive, that's also my opinion that they're disruptive. This is 9 times out of 10, this is where this is going to occur. When you have two adjectives that are both opinions. So if it makes sense to use "and" with your two adjectives, then you need to use a comma. Is that clear to everyone? You guys get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, and now dependent clauses. All right, basic sentence construction. When a dependent clause begins a sentence, now this is the key word here. I'm gonna just go ahead and highlight it. When it begins a sentence, you need to use a comma, but never if the dependent clause is at the end of a sentence. Now, in complex sentences, that means a sentence with a dependent clause. It doesn't make sense all by itself, a dependent clause. And an independent clause, that means it's a sentence all by itself and it makes sense. If the dependent clause is second, you don't need a comma. Well, look in the example. If Mr. Wilson complains, that's a dependent clause. It does not make sense by itself. If I walk up to you on the street and I say, if Mr. Wilson complains, you're going to look at me like I'm a crazy person. That does not make any sense by itself. However, if I walked up to you and say, hey, we'll invite him for a snack, that makes sense. It's an independent clause. When your independent clause is first, usually which starts with a subordinator like if or when or after, before, because, some kind of subordinator like that. If that's first, you must have a comma, and this is a must. You have to do this, or it's actually for a native English speaker, it's hard to read. It seems strange and hard to understand. However, if I reverse them, which is perfectly okay and correct to do, it does not change the meaning of the sentence in any way. We'll invite Mr. Wilson for a snack if he complains. No comma. Not necessary. Now, which should you do? Should you put the dependent clause first or second? Well, who cares? Nobody cares. It's up to you. Does not make any difference whatsoever. In general, talented writers kind of mix it up. If they're writing a book or a novel or writing a long business proposal or what have you, writing advertising copy, you will mix it up. You'll have a sentence one way and then another sentence the other way, just to kind of break up the flow. There's no rule. The only rule is when a dependent clause is first, you got to have that comma. All right, that is called a complex sentence. Now we're going to look at a compound sentence. Compound sentence are two independent clauses, two complete sentences, two complete ideas. For example, we had a lot of fun. If I walk up to you on the street and said, we had a lot of fun, you would say, great, good for you, Oakley. Or if I walk up to you and I say, I'll have another party soon, you will say, good for you, Oakley. You will understand me. It's a complete idea. We combine those with conjunctions, fanboys, for and, nor, but, yet, so. Okay, this is a connective conjunction here, this so. We must have a comma when we connect those. Okay. However, where English gets to be such a pain in the neck. You know what? I hate these kind of rules. I have to confess to you guys. I totally hate this, but I have to present it to you. If the two independent clauses are very, very short, you do not need the comma. However, here's one of these crazy English rules where if I do put a comma there, it's still correct. So it's not necessary. It may look a little strange, but it's still correct, whether I put it there or not. All right. She spoke and I took notes. All right. Fine. Again, these are two. This is actually a complete sentence. She spoke. I took notes. They're just very, very short. I don't need a comma for very short ones. What is the rule? There is no rule. How short is short? It's very subjective. I can't really define that for you guys. What I can tell you is it is never wrong to put the comma. If you want to, go ahead, and then you know you can't be wrong. Okay, now when we're getting to quotes. Alrighty, now this confuses many people. Where to put the quotes when you're writing a dialogue? What people are saying. It's a dialogue. Okay. When quoting, put a comma to the left of a quotation mark that does not already have a period, question mark, or exclamation point. What? You say? Okay, hang on. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, instead of inside, outside. All right. For example, here, Ariel said, comma, I knew you would win the contest. Okay. Right, so this is very common for writing dialogue. All right. Is this clear? Okay. So here's this comma. All right. Because this is not a period, question mark, or exclamation point.
Report the speech.
Well, yes, that's exactly correct. Whoever said that. You're absolutely right. Okay. Here's another use. You use a comma after a mild interjection. Now, okay, mild interjection. You can make it. How would it? Okay, such as oh or well. Okay, that's terrific. Seth. Now here's our example. Seth, how would you say this?
Oh.
Yes.
Go ahead, read the whole sentence.
Okay. Oh, the test was not that difficult.
All right, that was pretty good. Now, what if I want to make oh not mild, but a substantially more emotional? Oh.
Okay. Oh, the test was not that difficult.
Okay, that's great. Now, what would I do with the punctuation?
That's more common.
Instead of a comma, what would I do?
Oh, the test was not that difficult.
No. What I'm saying is, the key here is mild interjection. So if I wanted to make that a stronger interjection, okay, I would just simply create, I put an exclamation point there, and now this becomes, oh, the test was not that difficult, right? So this changes the concept here. You had it exactly correct, Seth. Oh, the test was not that difficult. That's a mild interjection. All right. So it shows in writing the difference. It expresses the difference in intonation, actually. Which you did that well. Okay. Okay, use a comma after a noun of direct address. Well, to make that simpler, after somebody's name. All right. Cody, didn't I ask you to clean your room? Okay. Notice there's a pause. Actually, okay, in speaking, whenever you're speaking, any of these sentences we've been looking at, wherever you have seen a comma, there should be a pause. Please, when speaking, if there's supposed to be a comma there in writing, there should be a pause. Cody, didn't I ask you to clean your room? Oh, the test was not that difficult. Ariel said, I knew you would win the contest. That's what a comma does. It's a pause. So make sure when you're speaking that you actually pause where a comma belongs. Okay. Lots of uses for a comma after a greeting in a personal letter. Dear Aunt Sheila, comma. Dear Sir or Madam. Okay. Now some people try to do other things. They may try to sneak in a colon or possibly even a semicolon when they're writing letters. Actually, if you want to be correct, just use a comma. This is a very common mistake. Okay? To truly be professional and correct, you should use a comma. And again, in your letter after the closing of the letter. Sincerely, best regards, all my love, whatever you're doing there. There's another comma. Okay, now here we go. Here is another completely wide open rule. All right. Use a comma to indicate where a pause is necessary in order to avoid confusion. All right. Which one of you is taking off in a plane? Okay. Okay. Now, all right. Now, I like the added note here. Okay, to be honest, this is an optional use of a comma to indicate where a pause is necessary. Where you think there should be a break, you are allowed in English, and this can be very confusing for people writing academic papers, especially, but also business letters. Is it okay? Do I need a comma here or not? Well, it seems like it's too long a sentence. I want to put a comma. Guess what? You can. It's an option. It's often an option. I guess erring on the side of caution is better. It's better to use a comma and create the break in thought than to not use the comma. But I agree with this little added piece of advice here. Sometimes rewriting the sentence is, in fact, the better choice. If you're writing such a long sentence that you can't figure out the punctuation, then stop doing that and break it into 2 sentences or 3 sentences, rather than mangle it with punctuation confusion with these optional commas. You might as well be sure and be clear. Okay, here's a common one though. Well, let me see. Let me have somebody try this. Anna. Wait. Okay. Okay, Anna. Go ahead. Anna, can you read this second example?
Yeah. Maria came in quite a hurry.
Okay. Now you're going to have to pause there, right? Exactly as you did. You can't say Maria came in quite a hurry. Maria came in. It's not going to. It's going to sound ridiculous. So if you read it out loud to yourself, and the sentence sounds just plain silly, then that's basically your premise. You need to have a comma there. Okay. All right. Okay. Use a comma after a positive. Okay. This is very, very similar to what we looked at earlier when we looked at the sentence that had something like Martin, of course, is on a diet. Very similar. I actually mentioned this. We're adding extra information. Usually this is in a relative clause. But here's an example. Wesley, my brother, is an optician. Actually, Rodrigo. Yeah, Rodrigo, can you read this one?
Wesley, my brother, is an optician.
Okay. Wesley, my brother, is an optician. Now, did you notice my intonation when I read this? Wesley, my brother, is an optician. Da, 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 da. We do the same thing. Okay, when we have this added information, we sometimes do this as well with parentheses. This is very natural when we're speaking to drop our voice remarkably low when we're giving this extra information. Wesley, my brother, is an optician. This kind of indicates through speaking and intonation that that's what we're doing. This is additional information about the noun, not necessary to the Wesley is an optician, to the basic sentence. Okay, now it also says here, do not use a comma after a restrictive appositive, which is one that cannot be removed from the sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, another way to say that, which is much simpler, in my opinion, if the extra information here defines the noun, it actually is a definition of the noun, then, in that case, you don't need a comma. It's another way to look at it without these big words. Okay. For example, a plumber, a man who fixes the water pipes, needs to be called. Okay, in that case, I do not need to use a comma after. Okay, well, let me write that so you can see it. I need to use it before, however, a plumber, a man who fixes the pipes needs to be called, like that. Okay. All right, so I don't need to have it because this is the definition of a plumber. Literally, if it's the definition. Okay, that's what they're talking about there. Okay, you also need a comma when you use the etc. Abbreviation. All right, like this. Oh, by the way, okay, let me have somebody else try this. Let's see. Diego, go ahead and read this sentence for me, if you would.
Okay. I went to the store to get napkins, plate, cups, forks, etc.
Yeah, okay. Now notice, of course, we don't have and, even though we have a list of things. When we use etc., this is a common mistake. There is no and, just etc. I went to the store to get napkins, plates, cups, forks, etc. But we still do the listing intonation that I mentioned earlier in the lesson. Napkins, plates, cups, forks, etc. Okay, like that. Okay, so we definitely always, common mistake to forget the comma before etc., but it needs to be there. Okay, tomorrow we're going to pick up the same lesson. We're going to pick it up from semicolons. We did all the basics today. Tomorrow a little more difficult, perhaps. Any last minute questions before I bid you adieu? We are out of time, and I've got another class coming up, so there's no questions. My flight is leaving.
Thank you.
Hear my plane? I gotta go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
Bye.
See
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.